Hey, Camari, what does it mean to you to have reached this stage of your career, senior day at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium?
It's huge. As coming in as a plebe or maybe as a Napster, you can't really imagine like senior night finally coming. I've sat through a couple like senior night meetings at the hotel and just listened to seniors talk about their experience at the academy and how fast it comes. But until it's your turn, you really just don't believe how fast it flies. And now that it's here, it's just crazy how fast the 4 years have flown by. And I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to play uh, this Saturday.
Who's going to go out in the field with you before the game?
Uh, my mom, my dad, and my sister, my brother just kept it simple.
How neat is that to have them there sharing it with you because they're being honored as much as you are?
It's huge. They're a big support system for me. I lean on them a lot. The academy is a tough place uh, to be at and to attend. So I lean on them a lot. So it's great to have them come support me for one last time in Navy Marine Corps Stadium, but also just show them that same appreciation for the support they've given me over the years.
What has this journey been like for you? Making your way your plebe season, special teams your sophomore year, finding your way a little bit in the lineup last year, and now a starter this year.
Um, so a lot like probably since high school, like one thing that I've like constantly prayed for is the power of patience, just learning how to wait and just wait my turn. And that's something I've always tried to do is wait my turn. People played ahead of me all 4 years, like up until this point. And I wasn't jealous or envious. I was their biggest fan. I like tried to take tips and pointers from them to work on my own game. But for it to finally be my turn and finally have an opportunity to start um, for the midshipmen, it's been a dream come true. Every kid who plays football wants to hear their name called on TV or see their name on TV. So for that to come true, it's a dream come true.
And what has it been like the brotherhood inside the brotherhood with this class that you've shared this 4 years with?
Um, I feel like every class is going to be biased and say they're the closest class, but I'll probably give it to that maybe that O1 class or go back a little further, like those wartime classes that I would probably I'm putting them ahead of us for sure. But other than that, I think that we faced the most turmoil in terms of COVID. A lot of us could have left due to COVID and like the stuff that we faced here, like just being stuck in isolation and not being able to leave, so on and so forth. We could have left and just took the easy way out, but we stuck it out as a team and as a class, and we just like try to put it together and just try to be as tough as possible. And I feel like that's helped us get to the point where we are today.
Well, thanks a lot, Kamari, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Mara, you referenced being at the team hotel on Friday night before senior day, and in years past, the coaching staff always let each of the seniors say something. Do you know if that tradition is planned to be continued?
I'm not 100% sure. I would really hope so. Having had been a young guy at one point, I feel like some of the things that the older guys used to say when it was their turn, just hearing their perspective on their time in Navy football, was something that I paid a lot of attention to and like held in my heart. So hopefully it's a tradition that continues. Let's cross our fingers.
Yeah, I've seen some of the clips from those sessions, and they are powerful. Some of the things that the seniors say, and it's emotional. What would you say, in general, to the underclassmen and the other all the rest of your teammates? What would be something you would say in general?
Probably a couple things. The first thing is you might not believe it, but it truly does fly by. So enjoy the time while you have it. Once football is over, you have to go face the real world. Football is like every time, like sometimes, you get into the monotony of the academy and you just say, like we got to go to practice, but you're going to miss those days when you have to go on a ship or in the field Marines. So that'd probably be the first thing. The second thing is just wait your turn. Everybody's not meant to play as a freshman. Everybody's not meant to play as a sophomore. Some people have to wait until senior year to play. Just wait your turn. If it's meant to be, your time will come. So just wait your turn. And the last thing is just be a good dude. Unless you're like a Keenan Reynolds, Malcolm Perry, like one of those S players. A lot of people aren't going to remember like your play on the field. It's not really the most important thing. Being a good teammate, people will always remember how nice and like the things that you've done for them, the times that you've uplifted them in times of need. So be a good teammate. That's one of the most important things that I would preach during my speech.
If I'm correct, you live in the greater Raleigh area, right?
Kind of crazy. So I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was born and raised there. My family just moved over the summer outside of Raleigh, so
Okay.
I'm pretty close to Raleigh now, oddly enough.
Right. Well, Fayetteville actually is even closer to East Carolina because that's what I was getting to. Did East
Correct.
Carolina recruit
you? A little bit in high school around my junior year, but the guy who was recruiting me got like left or got fired, one or the other, and it kind of stopped from there. So it was actually they were one of my top schools I really wanted to attend in high school.
It's probably like 45 minutes from where you grew up, right?
About like an hour and a half. I have like a lot of family, like a lot of my cousins went there, so I spent time there like during the summers and stuff, and like in high school.
So is it interesting that that's the school you're playing for a senior day?
Yeah, oddly enough. So last year, we got to play ECU in Greenville, and we beat them in overtime. That was my first time playing in North Carolina, and I thought it would be my last time playing in North Carolina as well. But then we got Charlotte on to join the conference, and I got to go play in Charlotte, so that was really cool. So getting to play one last time in North Carolina as a senior, starting as a senior, and then getting to finish out at Navy Marine Corps against another North Carolina team. It's kind of ironic, but I love it.
So obviously your class has been through some difficult times coming in during a COVID year. You know, you've had experienced losing seasons. You've experienced a coaching change. I mean, just what can you say about the journey that you and your seniors have been on?
It's been a roller coaster. We haven't won a whole bunch. We came in with COVID, haven't won a whole bunch. Coaching staff change, like you said. So I'd say we've had a lot of coaches change, not even like the head coach change. Like there's been a lot of coach turnover here. But the one thing that stayed consistent is just us. We didn't lose much. We might have lost at max that I could think about the top of my head, maybe 10 players. So we kind of just stuck it out all together and just dug our feet in and just locked arms and just continued to keep walking forward together. And now it's this Saturday. It's gonna be November 18th, our last game at Navy Marine Corps Stadium, and it's just been a hell of a journey to play along these guys. Some of the things that they're going to do in the future, they'll do great things in the future, and I'm honored to be their teammate.
So I'm going to guess that you're most particularly close to someone like Jaden Umbarger, who you've been in a meeting room with for so long and out on the field in position drills. I know you're close with all your seniors, but you probably have a particularly tight relationship with someone like Jaden, right?
Correct. Jaden's been my best friend since prep school. We were in the same company and platoon in prep school. And ever since then, this is when Jaden was a quarterback. So after this, he threw my first touchdown at the prep school. And after that, we just would continue to like work out, and we would run routes together, and he'd throw me the ball. And then once he got moved to receiver, it made us even closer than we already were because we're in meetings together every day, and we have we're sharing the same common goal. So getting him to see him come to the receiver room and him starting as a sophomore, even though he was playing over me, like I was still like excited because that's my best friend. Like I was cheering him on like I was his mom or his dad or something. So yeah, I love having Jade in the room. He's probably one of my top 3 best friends, not at the academy, just period in the world.
Well, it's funny because I just did a thing about the 1963 Navy football team that had their 60th reunion, and I was talking to a guy who was saying about who the guy he roomed on the road with has been his best friend for life. Can you think that you and Jaden will be still friends when you're 65 years old?
Yeah, crazy enough, me and Jaden do room together on the road. We've roomed together since sophomore year. And Jaden, in this past game against UAB, Jaden was the front picture on the program. And I joked with him about getting his autograph because one day I could just see him being a commandant in the Marine Corps. So me having his autograph is something I'm going to keep keepsake for me because people are going to want it and I'm already have it. So we'll be really close. I couldn't see us losing our friendship.
So he autographed the program for you?
Yeah, he did.
What are you going Marine Corps as well?
No, I blue chipped a ship in Jacksonville. I'm going to be a surface warfare officer.
Oh, but they didn't have the selection yet, right?
Selection is tomorrow, but mine is like sealed.
Okay, so you're hoping to be on a ship out of Jacksonville.
Oh, it's confirmed already.
Done deal.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wags, he gets blue chip. That means when he was on a summer cruise, he liked it and they liked him enough where it's done. So he knows. Yeah.
I know that. Okay, very cool. All right, well, I'll throw it back to Scott.
Scott Wyckoff.
Hey, Camari, how fired up are you guys to play this game, to get this win, to really play well at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium?
100% fired up. So we've tried to do a better job this year playing strong at home and having a dominant home presence, and had it like with it being our last game. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't lost. The last senior night that we did lose, we haven't lost many these past years, probably the last 10, 15 years. But the last one we did lose was probably 2 years ago to ECU at home on senior night. So that kind of left a sour taste in our mouth because we just remember those. That was like Michael Cooper's senior year. Just remember sending them off on the wrong foot. So nobody wants to lose at home, but you definitely don't want to lose at home on senior night because that's just a memory you'll never forget. So we're extremely motivated to play hard at home, and we're still fighting for bowl contention as well. So that's another added factor as well. So we just come into practice every day trying to be as sharp as possible to prepare for Saturday.
And how cool has it been to have your classmate X back at quarterback, slinging it like he is?
It's kind of a testament to X as a person. X is all over the place. He's a great lacrosse player, great football player. And a lot of guys being in the situation he was in, he started as a freshman. He kind of backed up Ty a little bit sophomore year. Ty won us the Army game, and then junior year, Ty got hurt, and he finished off the rest of junior year for us. So then he came in third on the depth chart. A lot of guys could have just pouted and just not been active and not prepared as if they were going to play. But X kind of took he prepared every practice, every week as if he was the starter. And obviously it's played off for him. Ty got hurt, and we've been playing. When Blake got hurt, we've kind of been playing quarterback musical chairs, but it was his turn, and he's probably been the best quarterback we've had all year under center. So that's just a testament to who he is as a person, who he is as a player, and I've loved playing with him.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Wags.
So you mentioned about the struggles and, going through 3 losing seasons. Everyone hopes that what we saw this past Saturday was, a new beginning, and if you could play that way and finish the season strong, heck, you could win 4 in a row to close the season and have a winning season, go to a bowl, having beaten Army. What can you talk about how excited you are to close out strong for the senior class?
I'm definitely very excited. So we have a couple big marks that we want to hit. The first one was winning the CIC. Obviously we couldn't get that one, but we could still beat Army, and we could still be bowl eligible to play in a bowl game. Nobody in the program has played in a bowl game. So just finishing the rest of the season strong is something we're determined to do to achieve the rest of our goals and just do things that we haven't done before. First we're taking it 1 week at a time, beating ECU, winning senior night, and then going to Dallas next week to play SMU, a great SMU team. We're just trying to prepare as best as possible so we can achieve our goals.
You're still muted, Wags. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Has it been important for you seniors to kind of set a tone? When you have a new coaching staff, the seniors are the ones that could, set a good or bad tone. Was it important for you to try to show the younger guys, hey, let's move on with this new staff and, give them a chance and try to make things right?
Honestly, I feel like that was kind of more difficult to be a senior than it was to be a young guy, because to be a young guy, you don't really have much recollection of what used to be or how things were, because more times than not, as a young guy, you're just scouting, so you really don't have an idea of what Navy football or is truly like in terms of like scheme and things like that. Getting over some of those old traditions and the way we used to do things, it was kind of a lot on us just to tell them like move forward and just embrace the new culture that Coach Newberry and the staff was trying to build. And I feel like we did a pretty good job at that. We don't really talk about much of like the old stuff anymore, unless it's relating to like some of the similar plays that they run. But other than that, I feel like the young guys have been pretty receptive, as the older guys have been pretty receptive, leaving the past, and chugging on forward to bring success to this new coaching staff.
So have you thought about the emotion that's going to, be going on Saturday? I mean, you can't really understand it until you are out there and you get your name called and you're walking on the field with your family beside you. Have you thought about it?
Honestly, I haven't really thought much about like actually walking on the field for senior night. I kind of just been preparing for ECU because this one's just so important. Like all the marbles, every game for the rest of the seasons, for all the marbles. So I just trying to be prepared as best as possible. When that time comes, I'm sure I'll be very excited, probably very emotional as well, because it's been a long journey, but I haven't thought much about it, to be completely honest.
You talked about, being patient, waiting your turn. How proud are you that you worked your way and got to the point where you're a season-long starter as a senior?
I'm honestly proud of myself a lot, actually, just to be able to wait my turn. It's really all like, this is God's will. I just kind of prayed God to like guide my feet and just guide my steps and give me like a clear heart and mind. And in doing so, He's provided me this opportunity. It's been very cool to be able to start and have a group of my own with the receivers and have some of the young guys. I've kind of just been thinking as the year goes around, just seeing the young guys play. I'm really excited for the future. This year is going to end soon. Eventually, we have like a month of football left, but I'm really excited for the future, more so than I am for myself.
What's impressed you the most so far about Xavier and his 2 games?
Well, he's done a great job of digesting the game plan as we put it in through the week. And then obviously he's done a good job of going out and executing the game plan and making plays, so, very pleased with the progress he made last week, through practice and then, obviously in the game as well.
When you have seniors like Xavier and the other seniors you have on offense, do you get a sense of a little more immediacy in them in practice now? Because, this is the last home game.
Right. No question about it. Sam Glover was another guy that probably played his best game of the season on Saturday. His sense of urgency, we talked to the guys, the whole team, and particularly the offensive unit about coming out of the locker room ready to play, ready to get after it. And I thought Sam had a great look in his eye in pregame and then went out and played that way. So, absolutely, you see a greater sense of urgency right now from our seniors, and that's exciting.
Every year we've seen ECU and talked to coaches. They always say how tough they are. What makes their defense so tough?
Well, Coach Harrell and I work together at Kennesaw State, and he's a very good coach. He gets his guys to play very hard and very physical. He does a very good job with that. Of course, they've got very good personnel. I mean, they're big and athletic. Their secondary, their D line, they're as good as we've seen. With the exception of maybe Notre Dame. So they do a good job recruiting and do a good job coaching their guys.
It seems like they've got a real recruiting niche that they are able to take advantage of.
Well, there's no question about it. They do a good job of farming out the guys that fit, who they are and what they want to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Wags.
Yeah, sorry about that. Grant, we'll talk a little bit more about their defense. Their rushing defense is ranked pretty highly. I mean, just kind of what are you seeing? I think they rank highly in defensive touchdowns, third down defense. Just kind of look at the numbers. They look like they're pretty stout.
They are. They're very stout, very aggressive. I think that's, the biggest thing you notice is how hard and how aggressive they are. They're physical. They give you multiple looks. and do a good job of creating negative plays with their multiple looks and movements up front.
You mentioned that you and Blake were together at Kennesaw for one season, 2019.
Yep.
Kind of tell me how that plays out in this game. I mean, he knows you, you know him.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you have to change some things up that you do offensively because he may know some of your calls or signals or tendencies?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You take all those things into consideration, some familiarity, on both sides, and I know he'll have a great plan, and we'll have to go execute at a very high level in order to do what we need to and get first downs and score points.
What would you say is kind of is his style or tendency? I mean, I think was reading some comments from Coach Houston from East Carolina, said that he and Blake and Newberry are from different coaching trees and maybe not the same, but they were both at Kennesaw, and you went against both of them. How would you describe Blake's defensive philosophy and style?
Well, he's very multiple in the looks. He's really evolved considerably over the last few years. In what he's doing, he presents things, in multiple ways. Has his core, playbook, as it were, but he's always got, he always has his tweaks, his wrinkles, game to game.
So, do you take much from what he's done against Navy in years past, or do you feel that what you all do is different and that he'll, defend more like what he did against you at Kennesaw when you guys went against each other in practice?
I think all the above. I think we're going to see. He's going to do what he does. He has his plan, his defensive package. I think you're going to see things that have, that he's used in the past against Navy. I also think we're going to see things that maybe he has not. Like I said, he's going to have his package that he runs consistently, and he's going to present it, in different ways. There'll be some things that we haven't necessarily seen, from an alignment standpoint, and again, in an effort to create a negative play or get us off schedule.
So obviously a big step forward in last week's game with the offense and some big plays. And obviously in the second half, you got the quick passing game going, and that was effective. How important do you feel it is to build off the momentum created last week?
Oh, no question. It's incredibly important. It's really critical, as we move down the home stretch of our season. We've been talking about we want to be playing our best ball going down the home stretch, and we took a very important step forward on Saturday, and we absolutely have to keep the momentum going as we go into Saturday.
So without giving away state secrets, what do you feel you all did in the second half? I know that Coach Newberry told Keith Mills, the sideline reporter at halftime, that he wanted to attack East Carolina a little bit different. I mean, UAB a little bit differently in the second half, and you all did. It seemed like you had some zone blocking schemes, and then obviously, as mentioned, the short passing game, some swing passes, a little short crossing routes. The throws you threw to Eli and Brandon Chapman in particular seemed very effective.
Sure, absolutely. Some of the things that we were able to do in the second half were just simply better execution on our part, plays that we ran in the first half and didn't execute quite as well. And then we had some penalties, obviously, that negated, some first downs there. But, I think for us right now, it's consistent execution, particularly as we discussed a lot over the last, several weeks, is maintaining leverage on the perimeter in particular and up front, in our blocking and, and creating momentum, with plays that create, chunk yardage. I think those things, are critical to our success.
So do you think that was the big difference? Just plain blocking, both the interior and perimeter, was the big deal?
Yeah. Quite honestly, it was that, it was just better execution and then having a feel for really, going into the game. There's always a filling out process early in the games where you get a real sense of exactly how they're wanting to defend you. And then you can, as the game moves along, you can make little adjustments and things that you need to try to take better advantage of that. And so we're always looking to do that. And we were able to do that, as well on Saturday.
So obviously Xavier's always been a confident guy. You like the way that he's executing? I mean, it seemed like he did what you wanted him to do. He got you the right play. He distributed the ball. He did what you were asking of a quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very excited about the way X is playing right now. His demeanor, one of his greatest qualities is his leadership skill, his style of leadership. He's never too high, never too low. So moments he really handles well, and that's really that consistency, that continuity at quarterback is really, really important. So, really excited about, X and the way he's handling his business right now.
Now, I know when we talked to Xavier last week, he kind of was saying, I've always been able to throw the ball effectively. And I know he believes that, but the numbers did not indicate that for up until the season. I mean, I'll be honest with you, as someone who's watched him throughout his career, I've been very impressed with the throws he's made here against Temple and UAB. Does that give you more confidence to call some more pass plays now that you have seen that he can make the connections?
Sure, absolutely. I think it gives everyone more confidence. His confidence is growing, and the players around him, and of course mine as well. So, I think it's important that we go execute our offense. Run game, pass game, and keep people off balance.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Scott Wyckoff.
While Khalil hasn't gotten a lot of touches in the backfield and seen a lot of time, what has he meant as a senior, as a fullback with a lot of younger teammates in the backfield this season?
Man, I love Khalil. His energy day to day and what he brings to practice every day for a guy. He embraces his role, and he's incredibly physical and a really good blocker for us, and embraces that, and you see him out there on Saturday. He made a great block, very physical, and got up, fist pumping. That energy guys feed off of, right? And that selfless attitude, it's just awesome. He's really a core guy for us from a leadership standpoint. There's no question about that. And he does, hey coach, let me run the ball. He asks, and I tell you what, if he continues to do what he's doing, I feel like we can find a way to give him a ball every once in a while.
Thanks, coach.
Yes, sir.
Wags.
Grant, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Eli Heidenreich, because he's kind of, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but obviously he was a scout team guy last year. And he's just seems to get better and better with every game. And I just, Strauss and I were both marveling in the press box with the way he runs. He's got kind of a combination of he's got some juke ability. I mean, his ability to change direction at full speed is pretty impressive. He did that a couple times in the game the other day, but he's also a finisher. He does not go down on first contact. He's stronger than perhaps he looks. But can you kind of talk about Eli as a runner?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of confidence in Eli's ability to make plays, whether it be in the pass game or running the football. And he has really great situational awareness. He knows where the first down marker is, and he had, a few critical first downs for us in the game on Saturday, and to that point, and he does. I agree with you guys. He has the ability to make you miss, but then he can get behind his pads and run through contact and get you those yak yards that you need to be able to get those critical first downs. He's got a knack. He just kind of has a knack for being able to make a play in the right time. And, obviously you love having those kind of guys.
Yeah, I think, as I think about it here, he's got really good spatial awareness. He kind of just knows how to, jump like left just to get a little more space. It's been impressive. And also, obviously, as a high school receiver, he has great hands. But, overall, I mean, do you think, has he proven to be better than perhaps you all thought?
Well, I really didn't have any expectations for anyone coming in. I was trying to kind of learn who everyone was and let things play out. And so obviously, I'm very excited about, what Eli's doing and the production that he's giving us right now. And plus he's a great teammate. He's a great team guy and goes out and works his tail off every day at practice. He takes a lot of pride in with those GPS trackers, he's going to run 20 miles an hour every day at practice. He takes a lot of pride in that, and that equates to, his commitment to practicing hard and doing all the little things you you need to do in order to be a great player and help our offense be successful. So really can't say enough positive things about his work ethic. And I, when you work hard and you're a good teammate, good things happen, right? So, excited about his future for sure.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, obviously the reason he's getting better with each game is because he's getting more experience. He didn't play varsity ball last year. Do you figure that 2 years from now, when he's a senior, they're a much better ball player? I imagine he's got quite a ceiling, if you will.
Yeah, no, there's no question. His ceiling is incredibly high, and I'm very excited to have him for a few more years. That's for sure.
So you just talked about the offensive line. Are they getting healthier? Is everybody starting to get a little bit healthier? All the guys across the board, McMahon, Bouton, Glover, all the guys that have kind of had a nagging this or that. I think Self even had some issues. Are they all starting to get a little healthier?
Not so much. Brent is starting to get a little healthier. The others are having to manage it, and it just kind of is what it is. Of course, unfortunately, we lost Bouton last week. It's a freak thing. So we're still battling our bumps and bruises up front. It is encouraging to see Brent, coming around. But I think the other guys, it's just going to kind of be this way to get them through the season.
Okay, I didn't realize that Bouton. So are you going with Petrov? I did see that Petrov played against UAB. Is that who's going to be in for Bouton at this point?
No, we'll move some deck chairs around. You may see more of Hoke Smith potentially, in this game as well.